What is up, everybody? Chris, the DGen, Dice DGen on YouTube. Welcome to our first live episode of Daily Fantasy Domination. It's week 7, guys. Week 7 in the NFL. I'm excited for it. I hope you guys are as well. Hope you guys are ready for week 7. I've been taking the past few days diving into the main slate, looking over the Thursday game, the Sunday night game, the Monday night game, and I know FanDuel is definitely ready for this. They have some pretty sharp pricing, but DraftKings does as well, but I think DraftKings pricing is a little bit better this week than FanDuel's is, but there's value on both sides of it, all right? So we're going to dive into the picks and stuff for week 7, all right? Week 7, let's go over what we're going to go over today. We're going to go over some injuries, some key injuries that I am watching. We're going to look over some key matchups. I'm going to give you my analysis based off the model and some other things that I factor into how I make my picks. And finally, I will give you guys my picks, all right? So, firstly, though, get in the Discord, all right? It's the first link down below. Join the Discord. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. All right, hop in the Discord. There is a chat room, DFS Domination, all right? That is where I will be posting picks, any injury updates, any lineup swaps I like, I will post them there. All right, so pop into the Discord, and we will go over it in there. On Discord, you'll see me, Dice DGen, and then in parentheses, Chris. That is my YouTube channel for craps. That's how I am identified on Discord. All right, so if you're looking to DM me or anything, it is up on the screen there, Dice DGen, and then Chris in parentheses. All right. Office hours. I'm going to be hosting office hours during the Thursday night game. All right. So when the Thursday night game is going on, I'll be sitting in the voice room on Discord. So again, that's why you guys got to join the Discord. All right. I'll be sitting in there. You guys can ask me questions. This player, that player, whatever you want to ask me. Totally up to you. You guys can ask me whatever questions. I'll be sitting in there. However, I will not be hosting it this week. All right. It is Papa DGen's birthday, my dad's birthday. All right. So I will be with him tomorrow, but other weeks, I will be in the Discord. So this week, look for me in the chat room, DM me, or you guys can shoot me an email, dicedgen@gmail.com. And if you guys have any questions during this stream, please put a Q in front of it so I can sort through it later on as we go. I may not see it as you guys post it, all right? So please put a Q in front of it, all right? I'll sort through it at the end. I may address it while I'm going over something, but if not, put a Q in front of it. I will address all the questions at the end. All right, guys. So injuries. These are not all the injuries in the NFL going on right now. All right. These are just injuries that I am closely watching based on picks that I like for this week. Okay. So first off, Dak Prescott, right? Is he playing? Is he not playing? Is Cooper Rush playing? I think Dallas knows. I'm sure Jerry Jones knows. We don't know at the current moment, right? They haven't said he's playing. He wants to play. So we're keeping a close eye on that. Mac Jones, is he going to play? There's a Bailey Zapp. We don't know. Again, keeping a close eye on that. Lamar Jackson. I got a tweet from Adam Schefter a couple hours ago, and he said, what did he exactly say? He said that Lamar Jackson was limited to practice today due to a hip injury, and then at the bottom of the screen there, Mark Andrews didn't practice today due to a knee injury. So those are developing injuries. We'll keep an eye on those to see because they might have an impact on our picks for the week. All right, and we're going to go over those in a little bit. And you'll see J.K. Dobbins, another Ravens injury. The Ravens seem super injury plagued right now. But J.K. Dobbins being injured could be a very good spot for Kenyon Drake, right? Had a good week last week. So we're going to keep an eye on the Dobbins injury. The Thursday night game, the Cardinals. Is James Conner injured? Is he playing? If he's not, is Benjamin playing? Benjamin, right? He had a good week last week. He also is a little banged up, though. So if Conner's not playing, Benjamin is playing. He could be the primary ball carrier. He probably will be if he is playing. So keep an eye on that. Damian Harris for the Patriots. Is he going to be back? If not, Ramondre Stevenson. Could be a good, that's for the Sunday night matchup. So let's take a look at that. We'll see what develops throughout the next few days there. Keenan Allen is a big one that I'm watching. If he comes back, we like it. If he doesn't come back, there may be some value in like a Mike Williams or a Josh Palmer. All right, so we're going to go over that. And then Dalton Schultz. What's going on with Dalton Schultz? I swear I have him on one of my fantasy teams. Every single day I get a notification. He's questionable. He returns to healthy. Then he's back to questionable. Then right before the game, he's downgraded to out. What's going on there? If he's playing and Dak Prescott's playing, he's a possible option. If he's not playing, Ferguson could be a good option. A good week against Philly last week. He could be a good option, though. All right, so those are the key injuries that I'm watching this week. Let's quickly go over matchups, though, right? So most of us for the DFS slate are going to be playing in this Sunday, the main Sunday slate, so the 1 p.m. and the 4 p.m. games. All right, so I'm going to give you my in-depth analysis for those picks for those games. But if you guys like the single slate games, the Thursday night, the Sunday night games, and the Monday night games, we are going to go over those as well. But the main games we're going to be looking at are the Sunday afternoon games, or I guess Sunday morning if you're on the West Coast. Quickly going over defensive rankings. This on the left is a screenshot of my part of my model that I use to make these picks. All right, so it's telling me who's a good defense against which position, who is a bad defense against which position. We really look to exploit those in making our selections for the picks. That's how I make my picks. I usually exploit bad defenses against positions, and then I go from there. All right. On the right-hand side is just the generic defensive ranking overall. I look at that. I don't look at it 100%. I do look at it a little bit, though. I really care about how a defense is against a specific position because in these slates, right, I'm looking for the best value for the best player against the worst defense. That's what I'm looking for. All right. I may not be looking for the worst defense overall, but if they're bad against a wide receiver, I want to exploit that matchup. You guys will see the picks momentarily, and you'll see that we are exploiting those matchups. All right, so the Thursday night game. I am going to say this off the bat. I do not love this game at all. All right. It's two average teams. They're not very good this year. You could fight me on that if you want, but they're not very good teams. Be blunt. They're not very good. The Saints are, what are they? They're 16th overall in offense, 20th overall in defense. So bottom half of the league in offense. Pretty bad on defense, let's be honest here. Cardinals, not any better. They're actually worse, believe it or not. The Cardinals are 17th in offense, and they are 28th overall in defense. So again, I don't love this, all right? But if you are interested in the single slate games, right, for those of you who have played or haven't played before, quickly to recap what the single game slates look like, it's a 6-team roster, 6-man roster instead of 9. You don't have to fill out specific positions. They're all flex positions. You can put whoever you want in there. All right. DraftKings salary is $50,000. FanDuel salary is $60,000. So keep that in mind when you're making the teams. That's why they're priced differently. You guys will see that in the picks in a little bit. You do have a captain's position, or on DraftKings' little crown. On FanDuel, it's I think it says MVP. They get 1.5 times the points that the rest of the players get. All right, so it's really hard to win if you don't have your captain perform well. All right, I'm going to say that right up front. If your captain isn't performing well, good luck. All right, so you have your captain, you have 5 flex players. You can put whoever you want in there. You can, double up on a defense. You can take a kicker if you want, up to you. But looking at this matchup a little bit more, we like Arizona's wide receivers a lot. All right, New Orleans is terrible against wide receivers. That's why their ranking is in green there. That's how many points on average they let up to wide receivers in a given week. That is from the model, all right? Code all that stuff on my own, but that is where that is from. That's where all of these numbers that you will see come from is from the model and from some defensive stats that I pull. So they're terrible against the wide receiver. So we like Arizona's wide receivers, all right? DeAndre Hopkins is back from suspension this week. We like that. Moore went down last week with a foot injury. So Hopkins is going to come in. Hopefully he'll get utilized pretty quickly. I do like him this week. But really any Arizona wide receiver, we're looking to exploit that terrible New Orleans defense against the wide receiver. Kyler Murray, I would take over whoever the quarterback is for New Orleans. It's either going to be Andy Dalton or Jameis Winston. They're both bad. So, I would take Kyler Murray over that if you're taking a quarterback. That's just my 2 cents on that. Alvin Kamara is always a stud to pick, especially in a game like this. He's going to do well. New Orleans isn't particularly good. Arizona's not particularly good against the run, so Kamara's going to have a good one. And then Juwan Johnson's a good value play, in my opinion. Arizona is one of the worst teams in the league against tight ends. All right, so Johnson's not a great tight end, but Arizona's terrible against tight ends. So could be a good value play. And then Benjamin's also a good value play if he's available. Again, I mentioned him in my injury report. I also mentioned Connor, so let's see what's going on there. Benjamin may be a good option. All right, but what you guys really want to see is the picks for the main slate. All right, so the picks for the main slate, the Sunday afternoon games, the 1 p.m., the 4 p.m., that's what we're really going to dive into, all right? So quickly, I'm going to show you this. This is the model, all right? I made this, and it gives me a lot of information that I like to use. All right, so I'll scroll back over here. We have all the names, points per game, what their salary is. This is based off of DraftKings salary, all right? I have another one for FanDuel salary, but I'm just going to show you the DraftKings one for now. We look at the opponent. We look at the opponent's points allowed to that specific position that player is in. We look at the average for the league against that position. Then we weight the defensive performance that they have against the average. That's what the DVP weighted is. We incorporate some Vegas lines in there, and then I'll give me projected points and projected value. All right, so instead of going over every single player on here, because you'll see a lot of green and some yellow and stuff, we're really looking for the main guys that we like to see. All right, so I'm going to switch to quarterbacks to go over quarterbacks first. All right, so for the quarterback position, you'll see him in green there, Joe Burrow, probably my favorite pick of the week this week. Why, you may ask? Well, he's in a great spot, all right? They're playing against the Falcons. Falcons are the 21st overall defense. They're 25th against the quarterback. So what that means is they allow a lot of points to the quarterback position. That's why we like Joe Burrow in this spot here. And also on the model, he has a value of 2.02. What does that mean? Well, a value of 1 is like even. That's the way I have it coded to work out because sometimes the negative guys, I had it coded at 0 to start, but then the negatives, there was a lot of negatives on there, and some of the guys were just under the even-ish mark in terms of what their value is and how many points they're going to score for me. That's what the projected value is. So how much they cost and what are they expected to put out and what should they put out based on the model. So that's what the value indicates, and that's what I'm going to be referring to throughout this. Joe Burrow, good value, my favorite quarterback of the week. Other quarterbacks I do like, though, right? They're in yellow. Lamar Jackson, again, the injury that came out today, though, I don't know if I like him so much. The reason why I do like him, all right, is because the Browns are terrible on defense. They're 30th overall. They're 17th against the QB, so they're a little bit better against the quarterback than they are against another position, but they're just a terrible defense overall. And the main reason why I like them, Cleveland is bottom 2 in the league against the rush, all right? Lamar Jackson's a running quarterback. We like the rush upside for Lamar Jackson. That's why I do like him. However, that injury, I don't know if I like it, especially at that price tag, right? He's $8,000 on DraftKings, $800 more on FanDuel. Dependent on if you guys want to spend a lot of money on a quarterback. Again, he does have that high rush upside, but between that injury and the price tag, I don't know if I like him so much, but he is an option. Another option is Justin Herbert. He's playing against the Seahawks. The Seahawks are another terrible defense, bad team overall. They're 30th overall in defense. They're tied with the Browns for being bad. Congratulations, you guys get an award for being tied for being terrible. They're 24th against the QB, though, so that's not good either. That's why we like Justin Herbert in this spot. And the only thing we got to do is, again, I mentioned the Keenan Allen injury. We're going to pay attention to that for Herbert as well. He loves Keenan Allen. Obviously, Mike Williams, Josh Palmer, and Gerald Everett offer other routes to throw. Austin Eckler out of the backfield. But Justin Herbert could be a good play. He is 7,200 on DraftKings and 8,100 on FanDuel. All right. The other player that I do like who is in yellow there is Dak Prescott. All right. This is totally based on if he comes back from injury. All right. We don't know if he's playing. If he's not playing, obviously I don't like him. But if he is playing, I do like him. He's priced at a decent spot, I think, especially for the matchup that he has. All right. So the matchup is fantastic for Dak Prescott. Potentially a good matchup as a cheap quarterback option in Cooper Rush if you want him. I'm not a big Cooper Rush fan, but if you want a cheap option, he is there if Dak doesn't play. The Lions are the worst overall defense in the entire league, so props to the Lions for being awful. They're 29th against quarterback, so they're very bad against the quarterback. They're a bad defense overall, but again, be mindful of the injury, and we're going to watch that throughout the week. Again, that's why I say to be in the Discord so we can see and I can update you guys, all right? I sit on this stuff all day long, so I will do some work for you, and you guys don't even have to worry about it. All I ask is that you smash that like button and join the Discord. That's all I ask. All right, doesn't cost you guys a thing. A couple other players, quarterbacks that we'll go over quickly. Tom Brady, it's just a matchup play, all right? He's not having a good year. He's having a ton of off-field problems, all right? You guys know his family situation. If you don't, he's getting divorced. Now, is he actually getting divorced? I don't know. He retired. He didn't retire. Is he getting divorced? I don't know. All right. His life just seems to be one big, I do it and then I don't do it. Anyway, all I know is Tom Brady has a lot of Super Bowls, so that's all I know. And he's usually pretty good in fantasy. This year he's not having a great year, but the Panthers are not having a good year on defense. They're pretty bad too. So that's why I potentially like Brady. Aaron Rodgers, again, not having a good year. He is playing against the Commanders, though, who are also bad defensively, 20th overall, 22nd against quarterbacks. Again, that's a straight matchup play there. And then a bargain option that I do like, I've liked him the past few weeks, Geno Smith for Seattle. All right, not saying Seattle's offense is any good, but the Chargers' defense isn't much better. All right, they're 21st overall, 16th against quarterbacks. Geno Smith could be your bargain play. You may be able to grab him and then take some other guys that are higher price tag if you want to avoid the Joe Burrows, the Lamar Jacksons, the Justin Herberts. All right, so Joe Burrow is my favorite quarterback on the slate this week. Lamar Jackson, based on that injury, maybe. And then Justin Herbert and Dak Prescott, I like them. Again, Dak Prescott, though, let's see what's going on with that injury. I will keep you guys updated with that. So hop in the Discord. And then other potential plays are Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and then Geno Smith for that value play. It's not that I don't like the other guys in white, all right? It's just that their value, their matchup, it doesn't really interest me. That's why I don't talk about them. The guys I'm talking about, they interest me in one way or another. That's why I explain that. You might be a big Patty Mahomes fan. If you like Patty Mahomes, I mean, he's probably going to have a good week, but the value is just not there for me. All right. That's what the model's based on. It's based on the price and the value. So that is the value there. The reason I don't like the value is because Kansas City's playing against San Francisco. They're probably going to be leading the whole time. He's going to have a good first half, and then they're probably going to run the ball a lot. All right. That's just what it is. They're going to suck that play clock down. They're going to be doing other stuff. He's not going to be balling out like he has to normally. So that's why I don't love Patty Mahomes, but could be a good option if you like Patty Mahomes. Again, that's up to you. I'm just giving you guys plays. You don't necessarily have to take them. You can do what you want with them, but these are my analysis and who I like. All right, so let's pop over to the running back position. All right, so for running backs, we have a big slate here, and I can't say that I love it. All right, we have a lot of big name guys with big name price tags in bad spots. Coming off injury, who knows what's going on, all right? You guys will see Josh Jacobs is the number one running back on the slate. He's probably going to be in a lot of rosters, all right? He's going to be in a lot of rosters. Why? Well, he's playing against Houston, who is the worst defense in the league against the rush, all right? So he's going to be highly picked in a lot of leagues. A lot of people love him. He actually has the highest value on my model this week because of that matchup. All right, so keep that in mind, but he is going to be very widely used. But his price tag isn't terrible. I would take him over a lot of these other guys up here just because of that matchup and how he's been playing recently. Another guy I like is Joe Mixon. All right. The Falcons, again, they're just a bad defense. 21st overall, 16th against the running back. Joe Mixon's been playing well recently. I love him this week. And the final running back that I really like a lot is Kenneth Walker. All right. He's been severely underpriced, I think, the past few weeks. He's emerged as the number one back in Seattle. I don't see that changing, barring an injury or anything like that. Even if anyone does come back from injury, I see him staying as the number one back. And he's been playing really well. And I think he's slightly underpriced this week for what he's been doing, all right, and with his matchup. So, again, Seattle's playing the Chargers. We went over this a little bit already. They're 21st overall in defense. They're 29th against the running backs. So they're bad defense against the run. That's why I like Walker this week. He's been priced similarly as Dameon Pierce and Breece Hall all season long, but those guys have got bumped up a little bit in terms of their price tags, and I don't love them this week at all. But Kenneth Walker seems to be staying around the same price tag. He's a little elevated from where he was, but I like him a lot this week. Other guys that I potentially like, Austin Eckler. All right, I can't say that I don't like him. I actually like Austin Eckler a lot this week. The problem is the expensive price tag that comes along with him. All right, so if you're on FanDuel, you get $60K for 9 players. Austin Eckler's taking up about $160 of your salary, so it's going to be tough to fill out the rest of your roster. I will have some with him in it, though, in a little bit, so I will show you those. But he's playing against Seattle. Again, bad defense, 30th overall, 26th against running backs. He has a high value on my model. It's 2.4. So that is good for him. But, again, high price tag, something you guys got to figure out if you want to spend the money on him or not. I do like him, but you got to deal with the price tag, all right? Leonard Fournette. Good option this week. Again, a little bit highly priced. Tampa Bay's playing against the Panthers. 25th overall defense, 25th against running backs. He should have a good week. Tom Brady likes to hand the ball off, dumps to him out of the backfield a little bit, so could be a good option this week as well. And then I'm going to scroll down here a little bit to a guy who is priced nicely. I got to scroll down quite a ways. In the green here. The reason why he's in that color green is because I like him a lot if J.K. Dobbins isn't playing. All right, if J.K. Dobbins is playing, I don't love Kenyon Drake at all. But if if Dobbins is out, I love Drake this week. He had a great week last week. The Browns' defense, again, is terrible. That's why I liked Lamar Jackson with that rushing upside. 30th overall, 30th against running backs. The Browns are terrible. So I do like Kenyon Drake. He's got that salary saver perk there as well. So if Dobbins is out, we're going to pay attention to that because we do like him. Some of the other big-name guys, they're in white there. All right, I just don't love them this week. Derrick Henry against the Colts. Colts are 15th overall, 23rd against running backs. Could be a good option if you like him. Again, at that price tag, though, I'd pay up to $300 and get Eckler personally. That's just me. Jonathan Taylor, is he playing? We don't actually know, right? So we're watching that. But Tennessee, 12th overall defense, 11th against the run. I don't love them this week, especially at that price tag. I really don't like them. It's just my personal opinion. I would take, like the other guys I said, Fournette, Mixon, Jacobs over Jonathan Taylor. Kenneth Walker, I'd take way over him this week especially. All right. Chubb against Baltimore. Again, Baltimore's defense isn't very good, but at that price tag, I don't love it. That's why I don't like it, the price tag there. And then Saquon Barkley, again, the price tag. The value isn't there for me. I would take Austin Eckler over him. I'd pay up and I'd sacrifice at a different position. That's just my 2 cents on those guys. Again, it's not that I hate the other guys, just the value isn't there for me. All right, let's go over to wide receivers. This is a tough slate for wide receivers. Why am I saying that? Well, you're missing probably 3 of the best receivers in the league. They're on a bye this week. All right, Cooper Kupp, the Rams are on a bye. Justin Jefferson, Vikings are on a bye. Stephon Diggs on a bye. All right, so those guys are all on a bye this week, which means that those guys that we can plug in and hope to have a good week, they may not. Oh, let's see. I'm gonna put this up on screen here real quick. Do I like Hines or Dion if Taylor is out? Both logged full practices. Taylor is limited. Yes, I do like those guys. Preferably Deion Jackson for me over Hines. Hines is also dealing with some injury problems as well, but I know they practiced this week, so I do like them if Taylor is out. And I'm going to switch back to this running back screen here real quick. They do offer good value. Nyheim Hines is at the 5,300 price on DraftKings, 6,000 on FanDuel. So I do like him. And then if he is not playing, then we're going to have, where is he? I know I saw him earlier. Deion Jackson, he's somewhere on here. I can find it later. But he's also at a relatively good value. Again, if that's why there he is. I knew I saw him. He's 5,900 on DraftKings, 6,400 on FanDuel. Again, I do like those guys if Taylor is out for that salary saver. Tennessee, again, decent against the run, decent defense overall, but with that salary, those guys would instantly jump up onto my draft board for this week just because of their ability to save me some cap in my salary. If you're on DraftKings, though, like I said, Kenneth Walker is probably one of my favorite running backs this week. But if you could stack like a Kenneth Walker and a Deion Jackson or a Nyheim Hines and then spend up at the receiver position, if that's what you want to do, totally like that. I wouldn't mind doing that myself. So, going back to the wide receivers, all right? My favorite wide receiver this week, and it pains me to say it, believe it or not. If you guys don't know, I am an Eagles fan, Philly fan. There's pictures behind me on the wall over there. CD Lamb is my favorite receiver this week. Why? Especially if Dak Prescott's back. But the Lions, terrible defense, 25th in points to receivers, 32nd overall defense. He's got a great value. He's the highest value for a wide receiver based on my model. I think he's going to have a great week, especially with Dak back. Dak loves throwing a CD, so he's a great value this week. If you want that Dallas-Detroit matchup, but you don't want to spend on CD Lamb, Noah Brown or Michael Gallup are good options there, but I do like CD Lamb better than either one of those guys. The next guy is Allen Lazard. I said I don't really like Aaron Rodgers this year. He's not having a great year, but the Commanders' defense is not good against their wide receiver. All right, they're 26th in the league against wide receivers. I do like Allen Lazard this week. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to look to him a lot, so I like Allen Lazard. If you don't like the price tag of Allen Lazard, cheaper swaps like Romeo Doubs, things like that, could be good options for you as well. But Allen Lazard is one of my favorites. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown. Dallas's defense is pretty good. All right, they're 4th overall. They're 16th against the receiver, though. And we know that Amon-Ra eats, all right, with Goff eating all day long. They're probably going to be trailing, which is why I like him even more. When the teams are trailing, what do they like to do? They like to throw the ball. All right, so Goff loves Amon-Ra St. Brown, so I like him this week. That's the reason why I like him. Other guys I like. Devontae Adams, all right. You're like, oh, wow, thanks for the no-brainers with Devontae Adams and Jamar Chase. I like them a lot. They're just priced a little bit higher, $1,000 more than the other guys I was saying. So if you take two lesser running backs, though, you can go grab those guys. Devontae Adams playing against the Texans. They have a relatively strong defense. They're 5th overall, believe it or not, and they're 10th against the receiver. That's why I don't love Devontae Adams this week. I think he's going to have a decent week, but I don't love him based on the matchup. Jamar Chase, I like Jamar Chase a lot, but the value isn't totally there for me at that price, but he is a very good option this week. I'll be building him into a lot of my lineups because I want to get that one top name guy. I love Burrow this week. I think he's going to be throwing to Jamar Chase a lot, so I do like Jamar Chase this week, but you do have to factor in that price tag. Another guy I like a lot, potentially, Mike Williams. If Keenan Allen's out, I love Mike Williams. You're going to get in that wide receiver 1 for a wide receiver. Let's call it 1.5 price. All right, so he is priced up though on a lot of these things because they think Keenan Allen's probably going to be out. We don't know what's going on totally there yet, but I like Mike Williams this week. Again, the Seahawks are bad on defense. They are decent against wide receivers, but Herbert's going to need someone to throw to if Keenan Allen's out. So I think he's going to look to Mike Williams or Josh Palmer if Keenan Allen's out. So those two guys I do like. Josh Palmer is a cheap option there if you want to grab him. Another guy I like, Amari Cooper. All right. I don't love the Cleveland quarterback situation, but the Ravens are bad against wide receivers. They're 29th in the league against wide receivers. That's why I like Amari Cooper this week. Who else do I like? Brandon Cooks, pretty cheap option compared to some of the other guys. If you're on FanDuel especially, you get a little bit of value there. They're playing against the Raiders. They're 19th overall, 19th against wide receivers, bottom half of the league. Not great, but again, Houston's probably going to be trailing that game. So they're going to look to throw the ball. Brandon Cooks is the option to throw to. Another guy I like is Tyler Lockett against the Chargers. All right. Now, the one thing I do want to say, if you're stacking like Kenneth Walker, I would avoid Tyler Lockett. All right. The Seahawks are not that good. I would not be stacking Seahawks players personally. If you like DK better than Tyler Lockett on FanDuel, doesn't really matter. On DraftKings, it does matter a little bit. You do have to take that into account. And some other guys that I really do like. Drake London has good screen's bouncing around on me. Drake London does have some good value. I think he's kind of trending downwards a little bit, but he has that potential. Josh Palmer, I already mentioned, could be a good option. DJ Moore against the Bucks also could be a decent, cheap option. But the two cheapest options that I like a lot, Alec Pierce on Indianapolis and Wan'Dale Robinson. Wan'Dale Robinson is my cheap option of the week. All right, I really do like him. He's emerging as a number one receiver in New York, and Daniel Jones seems to like him a lot and throw to him a lot. So we like Wan'Dale Robinson this week. So that'll round out my wide receivers, and let's pop over to the tight end position. So the tight end position, again, you have that steep price tag for Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews. Again, that Mark Andrews injury could make a world of a difference here. So let's see what's going on there. Again, he didn't practice today. We'll see what happens throughout the week. The two options I do like, I like Kittle. Again, Kansas City is going to be leading. San Francisco's going to have to throw the ball. So I do like Kittle a lot. And I also like David Njoku from Cleveland. All right, I already told you I don't like the quarterback situation there, but I think Njoku has a great value this week. He's been getting more targets in recent weeks, so I do like him. Other guys that I like, again, Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, the price tag. Gerald Everett, I like him this week, but again, be careful if you're picking like Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Josh Palmer, and Herbert, and then you're going to stack Everett. And if you take Eckler, be careful of stacking too many players from the same team. All right, if Chargers have a bad day, we don't like it. All right, so Everett does have good value. And then Hayden Hurst. All right. Again, watch the stacks, but Hayden Hurst has been having a good year as a mid-price tight end. I do like him quite a bit. And then the other guy that I do want to mention quickly is Jake Ferguson. All right, so I'm going to highlight him here real quick. Jake Ferguson, if Dalton Schultz is out, all right, if Dalton Schultz is out, Jake Ferguson could be a great cheap option to build into your roster because he's priced very, very low, and he will be a good target. He had a good game against Philly last week, so he could be a good potential option for you. All right, so those are my top picks and the guys that I'm looking at this week, and we'll pop back over to here, and I'm going to give you guys some lineups, all right? These are all based on guys that I mentioned, guys that I like. So we will go over some of my favorite lineups. These are guys that I've put together, all right? I'm not necessarily playing this exact lineup. I'm still waiting on some injury stuff, but these are some lineups that I put together that I like a lot based off of the model and some other things I told you guys. Real quick, though, the one thing I didn't address, defenses. I'm not a big believer in like paying for a good defense, paying for a good defensive matchup. I can show you who I like defensively this week. Some of the teams that I'm looking at defensively, The Titans defense, if you want to pay up a little bit, you can get them. The Commanders. I don't love any of these defenses. The Texans, I like them because they're a cheap option, and I usually try to plug in a relatively cheap option for my defense. All right, so that's why they're up on the screen there. But here is my favorite lineup on DraftKings at the current moment. We have Burrow at quarterback. He's my favorite quarterback. We have Eckler, all right. We have Walker. We have CeeDee Lamb. We have Lazard, Robinson, Njoku, Kenyon Drake. Again, that's dependent on the injury, but that is probably my favorite roster at the current minute. A couple other rosters. If you want Lamar Jackson, you're going to pay up for him a little bit, but then we're going to throw in Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, Romeo Doubs, Everett, and then we're throwing Walker in again. I told you guys I like Walker a lot. He's going to be in most of my lineups this week probably because he's giving me that low price tag for that top level running back in Seattle this week. He's probably one of the cheapest bell cows this week, so that's why I like him. Another potential, if you want to go for that low quarterback rating or the low quarterback price tag, some guys you can grab with going for that low quarterback. So Geno Smith, low quarterback price tag, but then we're going to stack it up with Eckler, Walker, Jamar Chase, Amari Cooper, Alec Pierce. We're throwing in Ferguson there. The problem with that is if Dalton Schultz is playing, we're gonna have to make an adjustment here to get a better tight end and probably sacrifice on Pierce or Lazard. We might have to change that up a little bit. But if you want to go for that lower quarterback, you can grab these guys. Again, just plugging in the Texans defense. I don't spend too much time worrying about defenses personally. If we're looking at FanDuel, all right, there are some good options on FanDuel. I said it was priced a little bit tougher than DraftKings is this week, and I think it truly is. But here we have my favorite quarterback this week in Joe Burrow. Josh Jacobs is going to be highly picked again, like I said. We have Mixon, Lamb, Lazard, Wan'Dale Robinson, Gerald Everett, Alec Pierce, and then Texans defense. You do have $300 left over. You can pick and choose what you want, but that is the lineup I like there. Another one, we're leaving Joe Burrow. We're leaving Josh Jacobs. We're going to swap out Mixon for Walker. We still have Lamb, Cooper, Robinson. We're changing the tight end with Hurst, and we're going to grab Lazard. All right, so these names should be familiar to you at this point because I said I like all of them. I told you why I like all of them. That's why they're going to be my lineups this week. Another one, if you want to go for Dak Prescott this week, right, we're going to stack Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. All right, hopefully they have a great game against Detroit, who is a notoriously bad defense, especially this year. All right, but you plug in Eckler, Mixon, you get Lockett, Doubs, Njoku, and Cooks. All right, so you guys know why I like all of those guys. And then finally, again, we're going with Dak Prescott, Josh Jacobs, Mixon, Lamb. Very similar lineup. We're just changing basically the wide receivers. All right, we're taking DJ Moore, and we're going to grab Amon-Ra St. Brown. Again, up to you guys if what I say with this, right? I tell you guys who I like. You guys got to plug in, figure out who you want, who you see value in, who you guys want to pick. If you have somebody you guys really like that you want that I don't have on my list, that's totally up to you guys. All right, so you guys can pick and plug who you want, but these are some lineups that I created based off who I like this week. All right, so some stacks. I know some people like stacking players. Personally, I don't love stacking players, but there are some stacks in my lineups that I made this week. So some good stacks, I think. Again, if Prescott's playing, the Dallas stack with Prescott and Lamb, I like that a lot this week. The Cincinnati stack, you can stack Burrow with Chase, Mixon, or Hurst. You can pick 3 of them. You can pick 2 of them. Up to you. Baltimore stack. Should call this one the injury stack because these guys are both potentially injured this week. We'll see what happens. But Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews could be good options to stack. And then Justin Herbert and a wide receiver, you pick which one. Again, if Keenan Allen's playing, I would take Keenan Allen. But if he's not playing, I would stack Herbert and Williams if that's what you're looking to do. Again, I don't love stacks, but if you do want to stack it up, you guys can do it. All right? So the Sunday night game. All right, I don't have picks for these games really because I don't love any of them. I really don't. This game doesn't interest me a ton. Steelers and the Dolphins. I already went over the rosters, the captain's position. All right. The thing that I want to look at here, though, all right, let's go over the offensive stats. Steelers are 24th overall in offense, 15th in defense. Dolphins are 6th overall in offense, 16th overall in defense. Tough QB situation. Who the heck is playing quarterback for these teams? It's injury central for the quarterback position on both of these teams. Pickett's got a concussion. Will he be back? I doubt it. There hasn't really been a quarterback who's come back off a concussion. He does have that extra day, but I don't think he's going to be back. Same thing with Freiermuth, right? He's got a concussion, so I don't think either one of those guys is going to play. See what happens, though. But the thing that I want to stress here, this is a wide receiver's paradise, all right? Both of these teams are terrible against wide receivers. Absolutely awful against wide receivers. So, personally, I'd probably make a six-team roster with wide receivers. Maybe throw in, Najee Harris maybe. Maybe we'll throw in, I don't know. You could throw in a quarterback if you want, but I love the wide receivers here, all right? That is who I would really hone in on in this slate is the wide receivers because both teams are very bad against the wide receiver. And then the Monday night game, again, I don't love this game either. The Bears are not a good team. They're a terrible team if you ask me. The Patriots, not really a good team either this year. I know they have some QB problems as well. Zapp's been playing well, but is Mac Jones back? I don't know. We have that injury for Harris. Is he going to be back? Stevenson. And then wide receivers. They both don't really have a great wide receiver. I know Bears have Mooney. He's okay. The problem with him is he's got Justin Fields throwing to him. I don't like him. So, up to you guys if you want to play in these. I don't really play the single game slates a ton unless I like a certain spot. And I told you guys I don't love any spot here. So, I will probably put together some type of like same game parlay or some player props on that Sunday night game with the wide receivers. So if you guys want that info, again, in Discord, let me know, and I can drop you some of the plays that I like there. But offensively, the Bears are 30th. They're one of the worst teams in the league offensively. They're 11th on defense. They don't let up a ton of points, so that's, I guess, a plus for them. But offensively, they're horrendous. Patriots are 24th in offense, 22nd in defense. They're not very good either. That's why I don't love this slate at all for the night games. But, again, the running back for New England, I'd put them in my lineup if I was taking a lineup, whoever it is. I'd prefer Stevenson over Harris, but, again, we'll see what happens. Bailey Zapp's been balling out, so possibly take him if he is playing or if Mac Jones is playing. You could do that. And then you kind of got to figure out who else you're filling that roster up with, right? Who are you filling that roster? Hunter Henry? Probably throw him in there, but up to you guys what you'd want to do there. Again, the Thursday night, the Sunday night, and the Monday night, I don't love them. There's some stats up on the screen there. You guys can see them. But the main slate, I do like it a lot. Again, I showed you guys the picks. I will put them in the Discord, all right? And what do we have next? All right, so the live show is October 26th, 9 p.m. Eastern. All right, that is next Wednesday. Office hours, they will start next week. Again, tomorrow, I will not have office hours because my dad's birthday. So I will not have office hours tomorrow. But you can get with me in the DFS chat room on Discord. All right, you can DM me on Discord. It's linked down below. All right, Dice DGen is my name on Discord. So you guys can DM me there. Or you guys can shoot me an email, dicedgen@gmail.com. And that'll bring me to the conclusion of this, guys. All right, so if you're in the Discord, I will post the plays that I like. Also, injury updates, I will post those as we go, as I find out more information. And that will be it, guys. Here's a question. Do I love any player props based on my model? They will be in the Discord. I will put out some player props that I do like a lot. Yes, happy birthday, Papa Quags. Yes, Papa Quags' birthday, Papa DGen. I'll be with him tomorrow, all right? But player props, let's focus on the player props. I do like them. There's specific ones that I do like. Again, they're focused on the players that I talked about already. We'll see, again, what the lines are. I haven't really looked at player prop lines, so I can't say I love any lines at the current moment. However, based on the lines and stuff, again, I'll drop them in the Discord, though, so hop in Discord. Milan, obviously, For those of you who don't know, Milan's one of my buddies from college, so I will text him my player props. But if you guys want to see my player props, drop it in the Discord, and I will let you guys know. Let's see here. Thoughts on McLaurin last year against the Packers with Heineke, 12 targets, 7 catches, 123 yards and a touchdown. You're doing my job for me. I love it. The stat line for him is very good. Obviously, Heineke will be playing this week because Wentz is out. It's probably better. Honestly, Wentz is an awful quarterback. He's an Eagles fan. I know that watching him play for a couple of years, he's dreadful. So McLaurin could be a good option. Curtis Samuel's also a good option potentially there against Green Bay. Green Bay is not a good defense if you're looking for that Washington receiver to plug into a lineup. I do like McLaurin. I would like Curtis Samuel based on that matchup and Heineke throwing the ball over Wentz. The thing is with that matchup, Vegas doesn't have it as a very high-scoring matchup. I don't think it's going to be a very high-scoring matchup. So picking the right player might be a tough spot there, but McLaurin could definitely have a good week. So if you like McLaurin, I would take him. I'm going to quickly pull up my model here, and I will tell you what McLaurin is rated at. Let's pull this up. So Terry McLaurin, based on the model, has a 1.43 value. So better than he's supposed to do, better than he's projected to do. So based on his projected points, we're projecting him to score over his projection. So I do like him. And on DraftKings, he's got a relatively cheap price tag at $5,900. So Terry McLaurin could be a good option. Green Bay allows about 28 points to wide receivers. They're a little bit under the league average. The league average to wide receivers is 33 points. So they allow slightly under the league average. But Heineke likes to throw the ball, so I think that McLaurin could be a good option there. And based off that stat line, he could have a good week. I like that stat line. Doing my work for me. I love it. All right, guys. I will close it there. All right. Those are the picks that I like this week. Again, if you guys have questions, shoot me a DM on Discord. Drop in the chat room on Discord and fire away in there. If you want to be, again, private stuff, don't send me private stuff. If you want to message me privately, DM me. All right. And then if you want to shoot me an email, dicedgen@gmail.com. Week 7, guys, we're looking forward to it. I will be entering in 2 of these lineups that I've put up on the screen. Again, if there's any injury changes or anything, I will make a note of that. But I will put the lineup on there. And I will enter 2 competitions. I'll enter one on FanDuel, one on DraftKings with one of those lineups that I did put up on the screen. We'll see how we do. I'm going to enter one of those large competitions. I usually don't enter those, but I think it's fun to do. And we'll see how I do against a bunch of other people. I usually like to stick in the smaller contests, but I will enter those for you guys, provide some entertainment. Will you be posting your FanDuel lineup prior to kickoff on Sunday? My buddies and I use FanDuel, so we would love some insight. Yes, I will post a FanDuel lineup. I am in your league, so no, I will not post my actual lineup. But I will post a FanDuel lineup. It will not be the one I enter in our league on FanDuel, but I will post one. Like I said, I will post the 2 lineups that I enter in the major competitions. I won't tell you which competition I'm entering, but I will send a screenshot with a receipt that I am entered in one of the competitions. All right, so hopefully it'll be fun, and maybe we'll see if we win some stuff. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys in Week 8 of the NFL next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And hopefully you guys found this valuable, get some good picks from it. And I hope you guys dominate whatever fantasy competitions you are in, whether it be your season-long fantasy, your daily fantasy. I hope you guys have a good and profitable week this week, and I will see you guys next week.